Cool. Welcome, everyone. Today is July 1st. It's incredible how quickly the time flies. This is another monthly public steering meeting. We have Antonio, Kat, and myself. So sadly, there's only three of us out of seven, and the requirement for a quorum has not been met, which means we will not be able to make any decisions. But because there are a couple of questions related to steering elections, we still decided to hold the call and answer the questions and discuss with all the community attendees, which we had so many currently. So welcome everyone. We will be covering all the topics, but like I mentioned, we won't be able to make any decisions. So if there will be some binding questions, we will follow up with the rest of the steering. Uh, okay, so I believe Ray, you had some questions. So
Yeah. All right. I have a few. So, first one's a kind of a statement to remind folks there's a steering election coming up. Nominations are due on August 3. Part of that process, we have a steering committee Q&A. That's just for candidates or potential candidates or candidates who might be interested in running to have. We have that on these tentatively on July 29th. So I'll put this in the steering Slack channel as well as like when we could agree on a date and time as well for the Q&A. So that's more of a statement. My real question is there actually a place to have uh, issues for or tickets for the steering committee besides GitHub issues?
Don't think so.
Okay.
Visually, no. It's just a GitHub issue.
either
All right.
GitHub
Okay.
issues, community, or the steering repo, or
Yeah.
just Slack. Those three
Yeah.
Okay.
places are where we're usually looking after. I
If
All
it's
would
right.
a
say
Sounds
big
good.
issue, talk to your
Yeah.
liaison.
Yeah. Yeah. No, this is for this in the steering election handbook. It actually says file a ticket with the steering committee. And doesn't say where. So I'm gonna PR a place
Okay.
over
Thank
there.
you.
And my last question is that so for voter.yaml, folks who don't know, it's for Kubernetes org members who have a minimum of 50 contributions last year can vote for the steering election. We also add in SRC members, Security Response Committee members, and Code of Conduct Committee members, because a lot of the work is not in GitHub. And also there was a question on, and I don't need an answer, of course. I'll put this on Slack as well. Of should we auto add chairs and tech leads on SIG.YAML into voters.yaml? Because some of the work is like hosting meetings. It's not in GitHub. Asking questions on Slack. So don't need an answer. I just want to put it out there. I'll put it in Slack as well, and possibly into GitHub, either issue or PR. And that's about it for me. Any comments on those questions or?
I think the auto adding leads and chairs is part of another ongoing conversation. So we will not be able to give you an answer on that now or yeah, that'll have to be something we discuss in depth at our next private meeting before we can come up with a public answer for it.
I would probably just continue what we've done in the past
For this election, yeah.
for this election. It might be hard for us to get to the decision or the voting. What is the voting period? Can you remind me, Ray?
Uh,
September,
Voting
October?
is August 14
Uh-huh.
to October 1st. So there's a long period of voting, longer than the past periods, steering elections. So August 14th is when the election starts, October 1st, and this is anywhere on Earth as well. Um, October 1st is the end of steering election.
Yeah, so let's go with GitHub issue, and we can figure out if we make it before uh, the voting starts, which we should. We can always update it, but for now, just continue as we are. That's the
Sounds good.
simplest. Um, Unless
Michael's
there's
got his
anything
hand up.
else, yeah, I would like to give give vote. Go ahead, Michael.
I guess this is just kind of a simple question. Like, would is the plan for the Q&A then to use like this Zoom, or there'll be another Zoom, or I guess, Ray will post that when he announces this in the channel or something.
It's typically I don't know who creates the Zoom, but it's typically on a Wednesday right now. We have it. Uh, so it can be, but it's not in this meeting because this meeting is only once a month. Um, it will be a new invite for that Q&A.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Um, if I remember correctly, in the past, we either used steering or Contribex between those two, but probably all the information regarding that, Ray will be following either on Slack and probably on the mailing list. So I would just look there for topics, for the actual link. Christopher, because I see you're typing heavily.
Yeah. This is an idea that we've been discussing from Contribex for a few months, and I would like some guidance from you all. If first, like, this came up after the Ingress Nginx deprecation, and is there any mechanism or like channel where when there's a project or SIG that needs help, like happen in this project? Other than that, like what are the options a SIG chair or tech lead have to call for maintainers right now?
Um, they would fire off an email to dev to call for maintainers. They could post publicly on socials. They can post in Slack, but Ingress Nginx did all of that. The issue there wasn't like an inability to reach every contributor of Kubernetes. The issue was a complete and utter lack of consistent corporate support from companies that relied on it, and then kind of just like the fundamental architecture of Ingress Nginx. Like some of the problems Ingress Nginx had that led to it being shut down were um, like cultural and institutional, but some were a unique result of the way Ingress Nginx was originally built. And we shouldn't be like directly comparing Ingress Nginx to every other
Okay.
component that might be at risk because there's just not a one-to-one comparison. The Ingress Nginx situation was somewhat unique, I think.
Okay. Antonio?
What Kat said. I was just going to say that we should learn from the experience, but we cannot generalize something that has a lot of nuances, a lot of history, and a lot of things. The first thing is ask for help, ask your SIG. If your SIG doesn't listen, ask the steering. If steering doesn't listen, then we have a bigger problem. But the first thing is always ask for help if you see that you are in trouble. We are here just to help each other.
So thank you for answering the question. I was just wondering, like, if there's any way we could connect these projects with those call for helps and do some sort of collaboration as we're doing with SIGDocs, but with other projects or SIGs with the new contributor orientation. Do you think this could be helpful in the future?
Um, so it's always helpful to connect. Um, I've in the past run mentoring cohorts for both SIG and SIG CLI, which allowed us to add a couple more folks with different success. I know that the overall approach to the mentoring cohorts is much more structured these days. But I can also voice what Kat and Antonio said regarding the mailing list, Slack, and whatever else. We've done that with Customize at one point in time. It helps. And then I lost because I had something else to say and I forgot. So Antonio, go ahead.
Yeah, so I want to be a specific thing. Is in the English engineers team, it's not something that everybody can help. So the problem is this is a project that we're running in production and we have security issues. We as a project have a contact with the end users to protect them. So we tried during 2 years a lot of things, encouraging people, asking companies. So I just want to avoid this is a problem of adding people to the problem, right? It has we need to put everything in different contexts. One thing is to have some kind, I'm maintaining kind or whatever thing that kind of safe. Another thing is a project that is like in this XKCD or this job, it's everything maintained by this guy in whatever thing. We have the project depends on the reputation. If our reputation is, oh, we are just sending projects that have CVs and can hack the entire whatever government or whatever thing, it's on us that, right? So we need to be careful with it's not adding people to the problem to solve it is adding the right people to the problem and understanding the context of the problem.
Go ahead, Kat.
Yeah, for a small bit of additional context on like how serious the Ingress Nginx thing was, if all of the hyperscalers had each gave us dedicated teams of engineers just to maintain Ingress Nginx or deal with CVEs, we probably still would have voted to shut it down because it was just fundamentally architecturally becoming a problem. But also, what do you mean by additional um, collaboration between SIGs? We already have ways to like reach all of the SIGs at once. Um, so, for instance, through emailing the dev list or through messaging all of the chairs and tech leads in the chairs and tech leads channel. We already collaborate with Contribex pretty regularly. Contribex is pretty active with the other SIGs. You probably see me around in SIG release and SIG docs from Contribex, and I'm aware that you're currently on the release team. But we also at the Maintainer Summit right before KubeCon all get together, and there's like quite a bit of like cross-project collaboration happening there, discussing like what works in one project and may be applicable to another, what is not working in another project, but could work for this differently sized and differently organized project. So like what additional collaboration are you looking for? And we can see if that's
Yeah.
viable.
Yeah, I haven't been present in any of the ones you have mentioned, so that's an issue for me. But what I'm thinking is like having my idea. This is something that I would like to share in Maintainer Summit, if possible. Like having a page in the contributor side where we give a link to a tech lead or a signature where they could fill out, oh, this project within my SIG needs help, and this is the skills I'm looking for that potential candidate. Then they could decide, oh, and I would like to have and I would like to schedule a session with to be part of and I would like to be part of the next new contributor orientation, for example, and give a SIG specific 101 to be a contributor for my SIG. And
Um,
for
Contribex is already running those. Because
for
I've run one and so has Ray. And so is Mache.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know
They
that
already do
Contribex is basically they are focusing each SIG for once a
we are
time and
we are
to
doing them so far like generic. that I'm aware.
Yes. No, we've done
So
specific SIG ones, at least
okay,
3 of them.
cool.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, and for new contributors to see in that page that it's an idea for the moment. So they could see which of those projects and the skills those maintainers are looking for. That's it.
I would defer that decision to Contribx personally. I don't think if it's the contributor site doesn't require steering approval.
Okay.
So Contribx is welcome to make that decision if the Contribx chairs and tech leads think it's a good idea. Sure. You can't force participation from SIG chairs or tech leads, but you can ask them if they would like to participate. But IMO that this is an exclusively a Contribx decision.
Okay.
I wouldn't object to it personally,
Yeah, no,
but
I'm not.
their
Yeah,
call.
more like, well, guys, I'm saying this like to get some input from you guys, and like if the idea looks worth it or not. That's all that I was expecting.
Oh, okay. So you're thinking like basically job postings for contributors?
Yeah.
Um,
I can give. Sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I can give you my personal experience. Personal experience. Kubernetes. I used to do that a lot with the help wanted and all the other things, and it's frustrating. People come. The more that I managed to get somebody was like 4 or 5 months. Eventually, they move on. And these days is super complicated because you get a lot of prompt feeders or whatever you want to call, and that's even more frustrating because a lot of people come to help and they abuse AI, they are juniors, and then you end spending a lot of time. So I think that the idea is good, but my experience with that idea is that it always people doesn't stick, and it requires a lot of time from the lead or the mentor person. So if you manage to solve that friction, I think that you're going to succeed.
Yeah, I've been told.
Yeah.
Okay.
One-on-one like onboarding with the chair and tech lead is also like that's probably not sustainable. Chairs and tech leads are all wicked busy. We don't have the time to onboard people one-on-one, which is why the Kubernetes contributor guide is enormous, right? So generally the advice is if you want to participate in a SIG, you show up to their weekly meeting. They all have at least bi-weekly meetings. Sometimes they have even more for their various sub projects if you want to get like more granular with your interest in contributing to a particular SIG. But yeah, usually the advice is just go to the meetings.
Yeah,
And if we have work, we'll assign it.
the perfect example that we're experiencing is like blog reviewers. We know we need them, but the friction for someone who have never be a contributor, like go to zero to a blog reviewer, is quite there's some friction there. Like because first, like in SIG contributors, we don't have many, and just a few of them in SIG docs, which are most like if they're not part of the meetings, also is an issue.
Yeah, I
And
mean, I'm a tech lead for SIGDocs too. And Ray is both a chair and a tech lead. Um,
and we want to mentor and have more. It's just we are trying to solve that friction to get more people involved.
So I
Okay.
want to share now a positive case. It was Adrian Moise. I cannot pronounce Moise. He is now TL in autoscaling. He came in QCon Paris or something like that to the meet and greet and say, "Oh guys, what are you doing? Can I help?" I said, "You, sure. You have all these issues. You have everything there. You can ask in Slack." And he started to do things. He get all the GitHub issues. He started to ask questions. He started to send pull requests. He started to review things, and eventually in his company worked with something with autoscaler that was orphan. I think that Maciek has more history in that, and he stepped up to help there, and now is TL there, and in Signal is reviewer. So the people that I see succeed is the people that is self-autonomous, that manage to get the things and just ask the question. The people that comes with in modus enterprise onboarding, those my experience is that they are doomed to fail. The people that
Yeah, I've seen that.
has this illusion of, oh, I want to hack here, and start to ask questions, and it doesn't feel shy to ask questions, and comes to the meetings and then go to QCon
Yeah,
and hang with the people. Those has a high chance of sticking. The onboarding model in open source, well, you all know, have more experience than me in other projects. I never seen it work.
Yeah. Adrian, I'm working with him very closely. He was the one who brought out the topic that there are no active maintainers for the HPA. And so I'm working closely both as a SIG liaison, as someone who has approver rights to get additional approvers for the HPA, which along the way we're also improving the overall HPA code. But what is also interesting is that Adrian is doing this on his own time. He doesn't get paid to work on Cube. He's doing that purely in his own free time. So just like Antonio said, he's very strongly motivated to push things forward. Oh, Michael.
Yeah, I mean, plus one to all that. Like Adrian, like over the last 2 years, Adrian has made just like amazing contributions to the project. So, and I think him being a tech lead is completely awesome.
For sure.
Um, something Antonio said that kind of resonated with me, because I do a lot of mentoring in the community as well, and everything you're all saying about like raising contributors like really resonates with me. But it seems like the most important skill that we need to pass on is that skill of like self-motivation, of having the confidence, to go forward and do that investigation. Like if we could somehow say, okay, you generated enough confidence or enough willpower to reach out and ask for help, you're going to need to keep doing that. You're going to need to keep like generating your own kind of impulses to do these things. I don't know how we teach that, but like it seems like that's one of the most important factors to becoming successful in this community.
no. Thank you so much for the guidance. And yeah, I'll take notes of this. I'll bring it to my SIG.
Are there any other topics for today? If not, we have one business that we need to take care of. Antonio, Kat, and myself, who will be running the next call? I haven't looked up yet when the next one will be. It looks like it'll be August 5th, if I'm looking at the calendar correctly.
I can do it.
It seems so. Cat will be okay. Cat will
Yeah.
come and run. That's cool. Okie doke. With all that, any last minute topics? Hearing none, thank you very much, everyone, for very fruitful conversation overall. And hope you to see you in Slacks, GitHubs, and whatnot. Take care.
Bye-bye.
I